Hello guys! So in this tutorial we're gonna talk about implementing the stamina system. And let's start from an overview. So I do have player character and my stamina system is inside it as a separate actor component. I prefer to store actions and implementing features as a separate pieces so they can be used as the modules. Here on the left you may see that I have stamina component and a sprint component. I'm also gonna show you how to make use of this stamina system using this sprint component. Let's start with the action first. So it's sort of debug functionality, but it may be used in a game also. So with the left shift I simply make a toggle. It's a boolean which says whether I'm running or I'm walking. So toggle run. If it's not, we're gonna rewrite it so it works as the flip-flop functionality, but using only one pressed state. With this, I have update velocity function that looks like this. So basically we're gonna override the character movement speed. So character movement is the initial component which comes with the character parent class here and has the max walk speed attribute. So depending on my custom setup, whether I'm run out of stamina and if my boolean toggle run is true, I'm gonna simply select between those two values. So it's the vector2 variable that I created where the x is for the run speed and y is for the walk speed. So basically 500 and 230 units. We're gonna implement this get stamina stats using the global function library right up here, but a little bit further in this tutorial. So right now you should know that we're gonna use update velocity function on a tick event. Here. It's not heavy stuff, so it can be used here. So toggle is done. Also remember to store or like to add your components to your character, because without this nothing simply won't work. And I also have one more function which is called get character state. It has the input of an actor and an output of the custom enumeration. I store it here under the abilities. This enumeration looks like this. So we store the states for our character, whether it's standing still or idle, or walking or running. And this function we're also gonna use sort of implementation from the global function library, so we can access this function from every place in our project. We check whether the velocity of our actor character is nearly equal to 0, so it means we're standing still. I do use local variables, so I don't like to have a lot of wires inside my code, so it's just to clean it, to keep it clean and tidy. And we get stamina stats checking whether we have run out of stamina, depending on those conditions. So whether we're standing still, it means we're idle. If we're not standing still, it means the velocity is higher than 0. We are rather walking or running. If we have run out stamina, we should be walking because we can't physically run. If it's false, then we check whether our run key is being pressed. So if we have stamina but we didn't press run, we're gonna be walking. Otherwise, we are running. Simple as this. Also, this function is pure because we just need to know the state. We are not setting anything here except those stuff. So this one is being set. Now let's go to the function. Oh, one more thing about the widgets. So I do have two widgets. This one is the container for my health and stamina progress bar. And as you can see, I have simple canvas panel and two custom widgets that I use here as a child. So this one. Once I add it up here, I should set size to content, so it will stick to the size of the widget I use here with the alignment of the widget right up here, and that's all. Also make sure to set proper anchors, so it's center and alignment 0.5, 0.5 in case you want to achieve the result that I have in my demo. So I use this widget to be as the world widget appearing over the head of my character. And this widget has nothing fancy. It's just a container that I'm gonna use here as the 3D widget. So basically select VBP attributes as the widget class inside the, how it is called, widget component. The draw size is higher than my actual size. So if this size is 800 by 25 units, make sure that the draw size of your main widget is equal or higher than this, because otherwise your widget will be clipped. And that's it. You don't need to add to viewport stuff and like this, because basically everything that you add to the widget component, all functionality added up here, like the construct, deconstruct, tick event, they will be working. So now let's talk about the function library first. So we need to have three functions implemented here. The first one gonna be get character state. It's pure. We need to have the player pawn. We check whether our owner is valid. Then using this abstract class, we're gonna cast our character and call function get character state to return the state. So it's the way how you can simplify a lot of stuff without you don't need to replicate this code every time that you want to use it. So you just need to implement it here and then call it in a place that you need, like I do in my stamina bar. So get stamina stats, and I don't remember somewhere. We'll see. We just see. So yep, this function is done. Now two more. Get stamina stats. So input simple actor, outputs to float for the max stamina and current stamina, and the boolean runout stamina. Then I simply check the component by class. So it means my owner gonna be the character. From this one, I should check whether I do have the stamina component stored inside it. If it's so, I can continue and return the stats that we're gonna store inside those inside that component. Max, current, and runout stamina booleans. And update stamina, the function is gonna be used for our events or our actions, like you've been hit in the stomach or you've been running for 2 hours. Your stamina should somehow to update, and we're gonna use this function to update our stamina. So basically the same. Check if the owner is valid. We also have the incoming value, so it might be like -20, so we are draining our stamina, or if we are refilling our stamina, maybe with some energy drink, it's gonna be used with the it's not gonna use with the negative value, but with the positive one. So yeah, and this function gonna use call to the update stamina internal function of the stamina component. So one more time, just to simplify things. It might sound and look a little bit overkill, but once you do it, I guess you're gonna like it. It's very easy and useful to do such stuff. So from every place, let's say you have 100 actors different that are not from the same class, or maybe you need to call this event from the widget, and so have everything here as the function inside the global function library is kind of useful and cheap, and you don't need to implement the interfaces and you use a lot of casts, and so well, so those three I talked about. Now let's go to the stamina component, then sprint component, and then for our widget. So I can close my character. One more time, please check that you have widget component, in case you want to have my widget, and the sprint and stamina component added to your character. As for stamina component, by default this class doesn't tick, because we don't need to update it every frame, only on a purpose. So you may see that I have two debug functions, one for restoring stamina, one for draining our stamina. Here on the tick, we're gonna activate it via any action, so it helps us to smooth interpolate between our current and max stamina, so we have nice animation of the stamina draining, and so we don't need to one more thing why I did this trick, because in components we can't use how they call timelines. So somehow we need to restore our stamina smoothly, and we can use timelines in the components only if we have some custom code inside the C++. So on event begin play, we should create the stamina bar, but we don't need to add anything, because we're gonna add our main attribute widgets inside our character widget component. So we just need to create the widget, and that's it. All implementation comes in other place. Those functions update stamina, our um, custom event. I was looking it inside here, but I forgot that I implemented this as a custom event, not as a function. So let's maybe start with this function first. Update stamina with the input of value. It's the float type. We store it as the incoming stamina. Make sure that you have all those variables. They should not be used as the local variables. So that's why I use it as the custom event, because we need to read them from our global function later on. Then once update stamina, we set component tick enabled to false to stop recovery when event fires. Then we should do next. We should check on our health stats. It's from my previous tutorial on the bloodborne health system. Or you may check this, or just to stick to the idea that if we are not alive, so I check whether player is alive actually, I can continue with this update stuff. But whether my character is dead, I do not need to do anything. Then comes these tricky parts. We check whether incoming stamina is less than 0. So we check whether we are recovering or draining our stamina. And if our current and max stamina doesn't equal. If so, we can continue. So it means the first one draining, the other one is recovering. So vice versa. Then we need to store our current stamina with this operation. For our current stamina, the amount that we have at this point of time, we should add incoming stamina, the value that's gonna change our current state. Then we check whether the value is higher than 0, and we select float. So if it's true, we're gonna use this as our new current stamina. But if the value is less than 0, it means we are draining our stuff. We also need to check whether the new value equals or higher than our max stamina, so we cannot go higher than our maximum, so we should clamp it. And we select between our max stamina, if it's A, or if it's B for our just if we are in between our 0 and maximum stats. We sort as our current stamina, then we set run out stamina. So if current stamina equals 0, this is gonna be true. We cannot do any action unless our current stamina is higher than 0. Then I use retriggerable delay, and then I set component tick enable. So here comes this smooth current stamina recovery. We use interpolate to constant, so the value gonna be changed equally at each portion of a time without any easing out stuff. So we simply interpolate between our current and max stamina using the interpolation speed of 20. If we use less value, it's gonna be lower, and the higher means instantly. So you should work with this value on your own. Next, simply to finish the cycle, because you know, if you interpolate something with the within tick and you have those values that are like, we don't have integer because we have sort of values reminder. I call it, it's called reminder stuff. We simply should also clamp to not to have something like 99.9 9, 7, 3, 4, and so until it's gonna be interpolating to the end of it. So if current stamina nil equals our max stamina and the error tolerance is 1 unit, our max stamina becomes our current stamina and we are not run out stamina. Something like this. That's how this works. And we're gonna use update stamina custom event. We're gonna call this event from our global function library that I showed you earlier. Just one more time to remind you. So from our stamina component, we call this custom event. With this being said, now let's move to the sprint component. It's an example how the action should be called to, to update our stamina. I'm saying stamina way too much. So on the event tick, I check on the character state if we are running. So remember, this one is the pure function to be implemented inside our global function library. We check whether this condition is equal to be for us to that we are running. If it's so, we use update stamina and we drain this amount every frame. So this one is run on a tick event, and why not? It's not a rocket science stuff. You can go with it. Just remember that in class defaults, tick interval set right now is 0. So if it's gonna be like a timer and so, or the interval, forget it. If you have a timer, but you don't have it, we use it as a tick. If the interval is higher than 0, it means we have sort of less updates per frame. So the value up here updated will look not as smooth as it should be, and it can cause some artifacts. So I guess just play around with the update frequency. What else? What else? What else? Well, I guess it's time to check our widget. So our stamina. So by default, it's a simple progress bar. Nothing fancy here. Oh, except the animation. Yeah. So here on the event tick, I have the update stamina bar function that I implement. This one. Here we get stamina stats. We store everything inside the local variables. Up here, just to have this nice and clean code. I use sequence. This wire isn't connected because it's for disappearing of our progress bar once the stamina is fully recovered. I just made it. I'm gonna show how it looks. So let's say I'm walking, nothing happens. You may not see the stamina bar, but once I press run, you may see the value of my stamina is changing. But once it fully recovered, look, it disappears. So the first thing first, we should use set percentage, our progress bar, and we save divide from our current stamina to our max stamina, so we have this percentage. And we use set fill color and opacity depending on whether we have run out of stamina or not. So once the run out stamina is true, we're gonna have the red color, and it's the indicator that we cannot do any action until it's gonna be refilled with the white color. I'm gonna show it with the debug key. So this stuff. One more time. Whether I'm pressing run or not, nothing happens. But once the stamina is fully recovered, you may see we can run, and that's it. To make this animation stuff, you simply should check whether your maximum and current stamina they are not equal. If it's true, so if they are not equal, set render opacity is 1, right? But if they are equal, yeah. Oh, that's right. So if they are equal, we're fully recovered. If they are not, we are draining our stamina, and we should simply interpolate. Here we can use the in and out function. So we have this smooth in and out blending, and we use set render opacity, get render opacity, sorry guys, as our current. Our target should be 0 because we are draining it to the end, and the interpolation speed is something not too high, because interpolation should be smooth and slowly, not instant. And that's it, guys. So yeah, I'm gonna place this sample project to my Patreon, so in case you don't want to replicate it using this tutorial, you just can go get it from my Patreon, something like this. So I hope, guys, that you like this tutorial, and as always, please stay with me. Feel free to comment, just subscribe to my channel, leave your feedback, check out my Patreon, the link is under this video, and see you soon, guys.